Y'all for tuning in to another episode of My Take. This one is mainly focused on Stephen A. Smith. And before we get started, I would like to show y'all Stephen A. Smith new hairdo. You know what I'm saying? Check it out. I think it's the best one that I've seen so far, compared to the one that he been rocking over the years. So check out Stephen A. hairdo.
Up without telling me.
Ooh, that boy fresh to death. Stop playing. Fresh cut. Hear me? Yeah. Fresh to death. Hear me?
Smith. Hey man, Stephen A. He got a fresh cut. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, it's over for his hairdo, but still, I want to say, man, the reason why Stephen A. is getting so much backlash, right? The reason why sorry about that. Uh the reason why Stephen A. Smith is getting so much backlash is due to the reason that he have given too much pushback, into certain demographic. Hey, excuse me for 1 second. Thank y'all for staying with me, man. My son started tripping. All right, so the reason why Stephen A. Smith is having so much backlash is basically the way that he covered people, the way that he slandered people, the way that he talks about people. One of the people happened to be Kwame Brown, right? He talked about how he was a scrub. He talked about it for 20 years. Even when Kwame Brown was no longer a player, he still used him as a butt of his jokes, not understanding that his words actually held some type of power, right? So Stephen A. Smith, um, the way he covered the owners in comparison to how he covered his own demographic, right? He was, constantly tearing down a lot of players. He was telling players secrets, right? He was saying a lot of stuff. So when somebody like Monica McNutt said what they said, right? This is a sentiment that a lot of people have been thinking over the years. Stephen A. Smith, there was a lot that he can do, right, to help enhance the quality of other people, right, or the WNBA. But instead, he decided to use that as a way to tear other players down, to minimize contracts, to to basically put himself in a position to win, right? Stephen A. Smith, along with people like Charles Barkley, attack people like Kyrie Irving, which is another reason that this is that he is on here on the thumbnail. Kyrie Irving was basically almost banned from the NBA because of something that he never did. He never tried to make anybody feel threatened. He never tried to lessen anybody's status. He never tried to push anybody to hurt somebody. But you got people like Stephen A. Smith who decided to take his own personal issues with Kyrie to try to get him banned. All he did was talk down and denigrate everything that Kyrie was doing. He talked about how he took a stance, and him taking a stance was somehow a problem for Stephen A. Smith. Unlike Stephen A. Smith, I respect the fact that Kyrie Irving was willing to give a voice to somebody that didn't have a voice. And honestly, I'm not going to go super in depth, but if you also want to see something that basically proved that Stephen A. Smith is not cool, definitely go to my Man Down Sports podcast. Man Down podcast, because he broke it down so eloquently to the point where you can't deny the fact that Stephen A. Smith was used to help minimize people contract, to help get certain issues that went on in the black community across, to help save owners and other like white players and stuff like that. Stephen A. Smith has been dangerous for a very long time, and I tried to explain this to people that he is. If you want to call somebody a gatekeeper, that is the definition of a gatekeeper. This dude is not only somebody that put people on that expect them to never call out what he does because he understands what he does is very detrimental to a lot of people. But now you have a lot of individuals are now coming out basically saying, Stephen A., we don't even rock with you like that. We don't even like you like that because, first of all, you don't even rock with us. The only thing that you care about is what the statement you said. I wake up every morning thinking about making how I can make my money, my boss's money, and how I can get a piece of it. One of the ways that he been doing it was basically lowering people contract. Players. Remember what he said with Andrew Wiggins? I wouldn't trade him for a box of cereal. Remember what he said with D'Angelo Russell? That he's basically a scrub. Remember what he said about Kwame Brown? Kwame Brown is a bust. Remember what he said about what's the other guy name? I mean, it's so many that I can't even remember so many of them. But basically, my point is, this dude is dangerous. The first thing he does is he talks about a lot of people in a good way, right? And then he goes to break and shut all of that down. So the fact that this dude will put somebody like Kyrie Irving in a position to where he's about to possibly be out of the league. Luckily, somebody like the Mavericks owner, right, is willing to take another chance while he got unjustly kicked out of Brooklyn, unjustly kicked out of Boston, unjustly denigrated it within the media, right? This man basically got treated like a dog, a rag dog. They treated this man like a rag dog. And then the first thing he does is to come with the weakest apology. You know, I think I'm right in certain situations, but I can admit that I'm wrong. Bro, is that your way of apologizing? Because your disrespect was super loud, but your apology was that low? And it wasn't even a legit apology? I've been telling my wife for years. I've been saying this for years. Stephen A. Smith is not cool. For any of our culture that think that this man is cool and is for us, y'all sad for believing that. Because, hey, Samantha, hey, how you doing? Because this dude, he only is about money. And y'all see it. Y'all see how he got Max Kellerman fired because he was about to outshine him. Y'all see how he got Skip Bayless ran up out of there. You see how he got what's the name? He played for Duke, right? Played for Duke. Remember he challenged? I'm going with Curry. Remember he challenged what's his name? Jay Will. Remember Jay Will challenged Stephen A. Smith? What happened? He ended up off First Take, right? Remember he was protecting him in the whole KYRIE situation? He stopped being on First Take after that. Stephen A. don't like nobody challenging his authority, even though he understands that he only hurting our community. Stephen A. is hurting our community. He says things in a way, and remember how he covered, right? What he said about Dana White. Dana White is a friend of mine, a friend of mine. It's in regards. What he said about Ray Rice. You should never put your hands on nobody. You should never do this. You should, right? See how the difference in tone? A lot of that matters, right? It's an aggression. When he talked about how the weed, right? When he say, "Oh, you need to stay off the weed," right? That's what he said about to the African American players. But when it was the owner, what he say? "Oh, he just needs some help." So the way that he was covering certain demographics, people start paying attention to that, what Stephen A. Smith was doing, right? And now the fact that this dude so-called apologized to Kyrie Irving after doing all that, that talking. Because remember, if it was up to Stephen A., Kyrie would have never had another chance to prove himself that he was that guy, right? He would have never had a chance. But the reason, he got a chance because of Mark Cuban decided to take a chance after that incident where he basically wanted to stand up for people that he felt like didn't have a voice. Why would that be an issue to you, Stephen A? Why would somebody standing up for some other people be an issue to somebody like Stephen A. Smith understanding history? Okay? Why would that be a case? Oh, Samantha, I'm talking about Stephen A. Smith, how basically this dude has apologized to Kyrie Irving after trying to get him banned from the NBA. You know what I'm saying? So you had Charles Barkley who said that he should be suspended. And the only question that I really want to ask is for what? Why should Kyrie have been suspended, Charles Barkley, in that time? Because this whole thing is really about Stephen A. Smith, but it's also about the people that have dragged Kyrie Irving. And then I want to ask the question, why did it take for Kyrie Irving to have to go to the championship for them to apologize when they already showed that they were wrong for the reason that they stated he did something, for his whole intent, for his for their lack of understanding of what went on with Kyrie Irving. See, everybody, and that's why I'm a person. I do not get caught up in what everybody else thinks. This is a free thinking channel. I'm not going to think the way everybody said that I should think. I'm going to think of what makes sense. It did not make sense for people to jump on Kyrie, for him trying to give a voice to the people that didn't have a voice, right? Now they want you to use your voice to influence somebody the wrong way, but they don't want to allow you to use your voice to influence somebody to think for themselves, right? So basically, he got in trouble for thinking for himself, for a post that he made, and then on top of that, for the decisions that he decided to make when he stated that certain incidents was more important than basketball. Okay? And then that warranted everybody to jump on him to make it seem like he's crazy just because he said that the earth is flat. Since he said the earth is flat, he's crazy. Or could he just have a difference of opinion? Yes, Samantha. Excuse me, I just swallowed my spit in the wrong pipe. Yes, I'm waiting on your question. But these are the things that go on, and then all the people dragged him went along with the media narrative, and then they basically dog that man out and act as if he lost his way of how to play basketball. That man ain't never lost a step in basketball. He just never lost his identity, and he never lost what the reason he was doing it for. His whole purpose was to do it, was to make a difference. And a lot of people didn't like that. So instead, they wanted to shun him. Instead, they wanted to publicly humiliate him. But now, let's just sweep all of that under the rug because he's in the championship. It don't add up. I know KYRIE is forgiven. I understand that. But I'm not forgiving no Stephen A. I'm telling you. In fact, I might forgive you, but I'm never rocking with you again. I understand what you are about. You about corporate issues. You about corporate interests. That's what you're about. You feel what I'm saying? So that's why when somebody talk about Stephen A. Smith, they think that he's really good for the culture, and he not, because he's not for the culture. He's for a paycheck. He's literally for a paycheck. He says Stephen A. has no smoke for them folks, but all the smoke for the people who looks like him. Hey, and I ain't even had to say it. Stephen A. Smith, like I said, that man been dangerous for a very long time. It's just that people never paid attention or looked at, his actions. They never said that, hey man, you know what? Stephen A., I see how you're acting. When it's other folks, you have compassion, empathy, you're very sympathetic, right? And you speak with a level of respect. But when it's his own culture, it's super disrespectful, right? And that's amongst most media people. Don't have a backbone to stand on. You feel what I'm saying? With me, if I'm Stephen A. Smith, I'm not doing certain things. I'm not doing it. But he will. So all I'm saying is this. For those who think Stephen A. Smith is for the culture, just go back and line up and look at the history. That dude is dangerous. He is dangerous because he the person that will persuade you to tell him something, and he will hold it until the right time. And that's the dude. That's the type of dude that this man is. And once y'all go and see the history, just go to the channel. In fact, go to Podcast. Go to Man Down Podcast. He breaks it down so eloquently to the point where you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. Because Stephen A. Smith has been doing his culture wrong for a very long time, and that's why he's very upset with Monica McNutt, because basically what everybody has been doing over the past at least week or two, they've been blasting Stephen A. Smith. They've been blasting him. You know what I'm saying? And she just blasted him. But the difference is, just look, Max Kellerman blasted him. Remember Owens, right? Terrell Owens told him that Max Kellerman was blacker than him. Remember that? And he was very upset. But he knew that it was true in comparison to his behavior, right? And how engaged he is with his community. He knew that was true. It was other people blasting Stephen A. Smith for lying. Isaiah Thomas blasted him for lying about his sources, just to talk down on somebody like Jaylen Brown from the Celtics, right? He finds every year somebody of his own demographic to talk down on, to speak down on, and to create a narrative to cut their contract in half. And this has been this man's whole entire resume. And it's been a whole entire pattern that he has been displaying over the years. And so now a lot of people calling him out. But now he wants to apologize to Kyrie because Kyrie is now in the playoffs. That's sad, man. That's sad. He said, I hope he showed them all, and I hope he showed them all and win this NBA championship. And I'm definitely hoping that he win. And I don't think they want Kyrie to win. And I'm gonna tell you this. Stephen A. Smith have made so many controversial or I want to say he have made so many statements that contradict each other to the point where it don't even matter what he say from this point, because he said that what he said to Kyrie Irving is not personal. Then he say it is personal, right? Then he say he really don't like how Kyrie been conducting himself over the years and stuff like that, right? So I guess Kyrie was supposed to play when he got injured at the Celtics. I guess that Kyrie had an issue, when the pandemic came. I guess he wasn't supposed to have a stance. So I guess after he made the tweet that he wasn't supposed to have a stance on that either. So I guess he was just supposed to do nothing. But yo, you know what I'm saying? But that's all I got. I'm gonna read this last one. He said that woman McNutt, Arnett called him on his stuff. He said we're talking about Reese and Angel, and that's what he didn't like. Stephen A didn't like that he was being called out for his ways. You know what I'm saying? And everybody know that. And he just didn't like the fact that he got blasted on TV again. Remember Jay Will blasting him, Kendrick Perkins blasting him. Remember Monica McNutt just blasting him. A lot of people blast him, and then they end up never on First Take again. You know what I'm saying? So I think he's going to weed and phase her out to the point where he don't want her on there no more. But hey, man, y'all let me know what y'all think. If y'all like the content, I'm a little under the weather. Excuse me, for all the discrepancies that occur over this show. But I just had to say it. Stephen A. Smith is dangerous. That's why I really don't rock with dude like that. But I watch his show just to see what he say, because you still gotta keep track of what somebody like that is planning. What's his agenda and stuff like that, in order to prepare for it. Because he's definitely looking for the next person to bring down, and I can guarantee y'all that. But hey, man, like I say, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if y'all new. That's all I got for now.